Now, the Inspector General of Police, David Asante-Apiutu, could go to jail today if he's found guilty of contempt over the allegation the police refused to release murder suspect Gregory Afoko months after he was granted bail. CID boss COP Mami Tiwadu Dankwa also faces the same fate as the two appear before an Accra High Court later today. Court correspondent Joseph Akable joins us via Skype with more. Joseph, can you give us details about this contempt case?
And so, Benis, this case relates to a bail that was granted to murder suspect Gregory Afoko on 14th of March 2019. And Justice Buedi, then presiding in one of the divisions of the High Court, had granted the application made by lawyers for Gregory Afoko. The arguments they had made was to the effect that since his trial was no longer in session and he had been in the custody of the police since 2015. They were of the opinion that he should be granted bail by the court. And that matter, the court therefore proceeded to grant him bail to the sum of 500,000 cedis with two sureties, one to be justified. And since March 14, 2019, Gregory Afoko has been in the custody of the police. He was not released by the police, leaving the family to file various applications, one of that which includes asking that the IGP and the CID Director General be sanctioned for their refusal to obey the court order. And so that is how far the case has traveled. In fact, Justice
Well, it appears we've lost Joseph there on the line, but he was just giving us a bit of background to this particular case. Hello, Joseph. We missed...
The matter had actually... Yes, Benis, I was making a point that the matter had actually come before Justice Jennifer Dodu on one occasion, and when at that point the prosecutors had told the court questions had been asked about why they had not produced him to execute the bail. And the response that came from the police prosecutors was to the effect that they wanted to validate the documents that had been provided by the surety, the land documents. They wanted to see the original documents. But the court did respond that it was not a place of the police to do that, and rather gave the order that Gregory Afoko be produced once again to enable him execute the bail. And so still that was not carried out, and the court then directed that the IGP and the CID boss show up present in court for the court to deliver its decision as to whether they should be punished for the police's refusal to grant Gregory Afoko bail. As I speak to you now, I'm standing just in front of the entrance to the law court complex. It is in this building, one of the divisions, the commercial division, where Justice Jennifer Dodu sits, that we are told at sometime at 2 p.m. this case involving the IGP and the police CID boss will be brought to a conclusion.
And Joseph, we understand that the judge didn't take it lightly at all with regards to how the IGP and the CID boss probably conducted themselves.
In fact, she made a point that if not that there were such high-ranking public officers and the top police officers for that matter, and if they were to be ordinary citizens, she would have issued a warrant for their arrest. And that in the circumstance she finds herself, if they fail to show up today, the option that you have to exercise is to compel the Minister for Interior, Ambrose Derry, whose ministry supervises over the police service, to ensure that the two individuals show up in court. And so today is the day that they are expected to be here, because the police officers had actually informed the court again that the IGP and the CID boss were both out of the country and that they'll be able to show up sometime after July 16. And so that is why the case was fixed for July 22.
Joseph, this is not the first time the IGP has been involved in a contempt situation. It is the second, we understand, in 9 months that he's been cited for contempt. Give us more details about that. What more do we know?
The first time he was actually cited for contempt was in October of 2018, and at that time he was actually convicted by the High Court. It related to an order that the court had given the police to provide security to enable the sale of some red coat flags located at Medina, and that the applicants in that particular case were of the view that the police did not respect that. So he cited the IGP for contempt. The court found him guilty of contempt and adjourned to deliver its sentence. It was on that date that they were supposed to deliver the sentence that the Attorney General's office made an application challenging the conviction that had taken place The point they had made was that proceedings had not been exhausted before the court reached that conclusion. And so the AG's office managed to get the court to first set aside the conviction of the IGP and subsequently ruled in favor of the police service that indeed the disputed properties that were earmarked for sale actually belongs to the police service. And so the issue with regards to the previous contempt in October was that one, he was convicted. Subsequently, the court overturned that conviction. So this is the second time that he's been dragged before the court in a matter relating to contempt, Benis.
Joseph, tell us the impact of this particular hearing today on the General Gregory Afoko case.
What is interesting again is that, either ways, no matter what the order of the courts will be, whether he's guilty or not, we know for a fact that enjoying that bail may not be something that will be possible because, as we are all aware, another high court has already rescinded the bail. And even aside from that, his trial has actually started, in which case he ought to be in the custody of the police due to the nature of the crime, which is ongoing. And so in terms of his freedom, this may merely seem to be an academic exercise, but again, it relates to the court's position on the matter relating to its orders that were expressly given and whether that was obeyed or not, which will clearly set a path for how bails are executed and whether the police have a right to demand original documents after they have actually been authenticated by the registrars of the court, as we have heard others like Abdul Malik Wikubako make that argument. So those are important matters that will be put to rest once the case comes before Justice Jennifer Dodu. But the trial will obviously be continuing, and the next date is July 26.
Thank you very much. Joseph Akable is a correspondent. We would expect, like he mentioned, that case to begin at about 2 p.m. today, and would let you know whatever the judgment is. You're watching News Desk with me, Bernice Abu Bedu Lansa. Let's go back to the story we did earlier on the Diskov chiefs, the upper and lower Diskov chiefs, the alleged abduction or kidnapping of the lower Diskov chief by the upper Diskov chief. We heard from the upper Diskov chief earlier, but we've been joined by the police PRO, DSP Olivia Atiku, for more on this. Thank you, ma'am, for your time this morning. Hello, DSP.
Hello.
Hello, DSP. Thank you for joining us. We just heard from the chief of the Upper Diskov area. He says that he's not on the run. He's actually willing to cooperate with the police and is on his way to your offices. Tell us the police's side of the story, ma'am.
Hello.
Hello, can you hear me, DSP?
Yes,
I'm asking for you to share what the police knows about this alleged abduction of the lower Diskov chief.
Yeah, thank you. Yesterday, police had a distress call that Nana Kwesiagyima the Ninth, who is the paramount chief of the lower Diskov area, has been attacked by some unknown men. Police went there, and through some investigation, they were informed that the people were sent by Nana Himadechi the 16th, who is the paramount chief of Upper Diskov. So police called for reinforcement. They went to the palace. But when they got to the palace, there was nobody there. But they found a room locked in one of the rooms in the palace. And when police forced the door open, they found Nana Kwesiagyima and 4 of his chiefs who had been assaulted, and they sent them to hospital. As I speak to you, police are still searching for Nana Himadechi.
DSP, I spoke to Nana Dechi just a few minutes ago, and he says he's been in contact with the Western Region Police, and he's actually not on the run.
The information I had is that he's not in contact. The police are searching for him. If he's in contact with the police command, then maybe it's some 10 or 15 minutes ago, because I've been in contact with the district commander, I've been in contact with the command. And as I am speaking to you, they are still looking for him. So if indeed he has contacted the command, then he needs to report himself to the police.
All right. We understand that the rift between the two chiefs is over 4 years when Nana Himadechi was installed. Are you aware of this? Has it ever come to the police's attention that the
I
two
know
chiefs...
there are some sort of chieftaincy issue there, but I'm not privy to exactly what the issue is.
Well, he claims that he's reported issues of provocation, intimidation by the lower District chief to the police, and this is his claim, and I'm glad you're here to tell us your side. He claims that the police is on the side of the upper District chief, and you've never really responded to the claims and the reports of the upper District chief and his people.
I don't have information to that, but I know once police is investigating all these issues, if indeed are true, are going to surface. But I don't have knowledge about the reports that made to police, and he's alleging that police didn't do anything about it. So I cannot speak of that.
So what is he likely to be charged with?
This just happened yesterday.
Can you say that again, please? Sorry, the line...
The incident happened yesterday. So as the police investigation, I can't come and say this will be the charge. They need to also find out from the side of whatever happened.
Okay.
Like before, after investigation, if there's a link, then charges can be prepared against it. But for now, I can't state any charge that could be prepared against it. Ma'am,
what's the situation in the Diskov area this morning?
Now the area is calm. The police are still patrolling there. And the information I also have is that the Nana Kwesiajiman and the women are also responding to treatment at the hospital. So far, at least the area is calm.
And what was the degree of injuries they suffered? Are you able to share with us?
Yeah, I'm told Nana had a cutlass wound at the back, I think on the arm. Some of his men also had deep cuts on parts of their body.
And have you heard from them exactly how they were put in that room, who came for them, how they were?
Yeah, as I said earlier, investigation is ongoing, so it would be good for us to wait.
Sure.
Whatever police will establish, we will let you know.
Thank you very much for your time this morning. DSP Olivia Adiku is Western Region Police PRO, giving her the police's side to the chieftaincy issue in Diskov.